First story is titled, Am I the a-hole for refusing a free house on my child's behalf? Some quick bullet points. I'm 29 male and a widower with a daughter, 1 female. My girlfriend passed away in labor. I have a relatively nice 3-bedroom apartment that we live in. I'm a professor at the university. My late girlfriend's family is loaded. Both her parents are engineers who started and sold several companies and have been retired for a couple decades now. They decided without much warning to start looking to buy us a house. By this, I mean they want to buy a house my daughter and I will live in, but it will be in their names until my daughter is 18. Then it's transferred to her. I am not involved at all. My name is on nothing. They want to mortgage it and have me make monthly payments to live there. This was a plan when my late girlfriend was pregnant. They wanted to buy a house, have it in her name, then it would become the matrimonial home when we got married and I would have equal rights to it. Since this didn't happen, they still want to go ahead with the house, but the conditions are changed such that I have no right to it. I am refusing because I don't want to pay for something I have no rights to. You can argue I do this right now by renting, but I have some rights with regards to my living conditions. I also don't manage the property. With the house, I am on the hook for everything, and the way they want to do it is, I still yet have no right to it. Am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. This isn't a free house for your child. Late girlfriend's parents would carry the note while you pay the mortgage. So you would be buying your daughter a house, not her rich grandparents. I highly suspect these people are merely looking for a way to maintain control over you and your daughter. Not the a-hole. They want a way to guarantee he won't move away or anything else. No relationship they don't approve of, or is out on the street. Not the a-hole. It seems like they think they're trying to help by following through with the plan. Perhaps instead sit down with them, thank them kindly for the offer, and offer instead if they are really wanting to help their grandchild in the future to set her up a college fund or mutual fund, so that when she gets older, she has a nice little nest egg from her grandparents. This will separate their good intentions of wanting to help your daughter from any possible manipulative intentions of wanting to control you and your daughter. Not the a-hole. You already have a rental home, and you would have no advantage in moving. If they want to gift your daughter a house, they can still buy one and give it to her when she's 18. That way, she can also have a say in where and what to buy and isn't stuck with a house she doesn't like. Not only that, they buy a brand new house. In 18 years, know what it's time for? Hot water tank replacement, roof replacement, etc., etc., etc. All super expensive things. Happy 18th birthday. Here's a bunch of bills to deal with. If they want to buy her a home, buy her a new one when she's ready to take it. Because then it's new. It has new appliances, everything is good, and she can focus on getting her life in order and not trying to maintain a 2-decade-old home. Now for the next story. Am I the a-hole for embarrassing my wife in front of our friends by not going along with her lie? When my wife and I got married, we were both working. Once our first child was born, she wanted to quit, completely her decision. I started working more to compensate and she started taking care of the house and the kid. I am a pretty clean person and I help whenever I could or if she asked. I am an involved parent. Then we had another kid and I started working even more. At the end of 2019, my wife flew to her home country to visit her parents. Airports were shut down and all the flights were cancelled before she could come back. There was a lot of red tape to unravel here and we couldn't get her back home until May. Like I said, the only reason I didn't do household works was because I was working too much, and I discussed that with my wife and she was also okay with taking care of the household. I have lived alone for several years, and until she quit her job, I always did my share of everything. I am pretty far from helpless. At first, I freaked out a little as I couldn't work from home and I had kids, 7 male and 2 female, to take care of. In the end, I figured it out. I was stretched a little thin, but it was nothing unmanageable. My wife came back home in the beginning of May 2020. She was very happy to be home and we were all happy to have her back. There didn't seem to be any problem. A few weeks ago, we have having dinner at our house with one of our couple friends when my wife told them that I was miserable without her, that the kids were miserable, that the house was a disaster, that she had so much stuff to clean up, etc. She basically said that I was helpless without her and that I couldn't take care of anything while she was gone. I kinda chuckled awkwardly. I told her that the kids and I were definitely miserable sometimes because we missed her, but nothing other than that was true. I told her not to lie about me or my ability to take care of the kids. After dinner, she was extremely mad at me and told that I was a jerk and that I should have just played along. She told me that she felt awful that I could manage everything without her, and she felt that they can't/didn't need her, and that she was insignificant. I obviously tried to tell her that it wasn't the case, but she kept yelling at me and made me sleep on a couch. Here is the thing. Just because she isn't employed doesn't mean she can't work/doesn't know how to work. Similarly, just because I don't do things now doesn't mean I can't do it. I think it's demeaning to have me pretend that I am a man-child who has to be babied or doesn't know how to do basic things or cannot take care of my own children, just so that she can feel better about herself. I don't think it's right to portray me as an incompetent person because she feels insecure. However, she is still really upset, and I am not so sure anymore. Am I the a-hole? Am I the a-hole for not going along with the lie? Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. If I was in her position, I would be non-stop bragging to people about how great you had been as a caring father and understanding husband. You were basically a single dad for a few months. That's not an easy task. She should be gloating non-stop about you, not tearing you down. Exactly this. If my partner had done all that, I'd have been singing his praises. Right? An actual song. I'd be calling his mom up saying, I need a manual on how you raised your kids so I can follow it to the letter. I'd carry his picture saying, this is the reason I have more than one kid. I'm trying to make more of him. She should be stoked to know that if anything happened to her, he'd be able to pick up the slack like a damn superhero. I'd be bragging to every girl I know. Hell, guys too. She's not seeing the big picture here. Not the a-hole. She tried to throw you under the bus in front of your friends and expected you to just suck it up and play the poor useless husband who can't cope. Ask yourself what she would have said had you done what she did and brought up how easily you coped without her and that she clearly didn't do much. How would have she reacted? Would she have just played along? The next story is titled, Am I the a-hole for embarrassing my sister during family dinner? So I, female 21, was having dinner with my family. My sister, 31, and her fiancé, my two brothers, 28-23, and my parents. Let me give a small backstory before I continue. My sister has hated me all my life. I don't know why, but she does. I tried my hardest to have a relationship with her, but she never cared for it. You'd think after we've all matured, she'd quit whatever it is she's on, but she's still the same as she was when we were children. My parents never called her out on how she treated me, so she just continued it. One of her favorite things to do is compare me at a certain age to her when she was that age. For example, I was smarter at 14 than Opie was. I even got better grades. And that brings me to today. My sister was on her shtick again, and comparing me to college courses I'm currently taking versus the ones she took. She took it to another level and said, I wasn't smart, and she could prove I cheated 12 years through school and 2 years in college. She asks, this is her exact question. If you're so smart, what is the noun of a pronoun with an adverb? Everyone around the table kinda just stares like, what? She asks again. I tell her there's no answer to that as it didn't make any sense. Her conclusion? I'm an idiot. So, I decided to ask her a question. I asked her to tell me how does precipitation work in the water cycle. A simple question to me. No answer. She gets red and says I purposely used a big word to confuse her, and I wasn't being fair. Here's where I could be the jerk. I mocked what she said, but I thought you were smarter than me. My brother chimed in and said it was a fair question, and she got embarrassed and walked out. My dad says I owe her an apology and said I should have been the bigger person as I've always been. I told him I'm not going to apologize and she can cry about it. Am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. She can dish it out, but she can't take it. Yeah, lol. And that sucks for her. Not the a-hole. Good for you for standing up for yourself, OP. If that is all you did or said, it was pretty damn mild and she overreacted. If she starts back up and you react again, maybe she will learn to not poke at you. If she is so smart. And you don't always have to be the bigger person if your 10 years older sister wants to pick on you in public. Edited to add, she didn't know precipitation is rain? Precipitation is a big word? Maybe accusing you of cheating your way all through school is projecting on her part. Or maybe not. Maybe projection is just too big a word for her. You can save that word the next time. If you can get her explanation of a noun of a pronoun with an adverb, please post it. I have to know. Yes, I read it 3 times and still have no clue. Literally asked my English teacher boyfriend, and he's unsure. Was precipitation supposed to be the big word a 31-year-old educated woman doesn't know? Christ, you're not a-hole, and your sister is high on her horse. On to the next story. Am I the a-hole for refusing to pay bills for a house I house-seated a month ago? I don't really think I'm the a-hole in this situation, but the family member, her boyfriend and her mom sure do. Although the fact that the family member recently lost her job due to the pandemic does make me feel like I'm being an a-hole. A little less than a month ago, I decided to house sit for a family member and her boyfriend for a week while they were going to see their parents. I knew I wasn't getting paid for taking care of the home / feeding their pets, but I was okay with it because I live with my parents, and a week away sounded like a dream come true. House sitting went fine, and I'd pretty much forgotten about it until today. The family member sent me a PayPal request with no explanation. She requested $184, and I immediately called her and asked why she was doing this. She stated that it was my share of the bills for when I stayed. I was in shock. I told her I took a week off of work to care for her house free of charge. She said that I still had to pay utilities. Keep in mind, I was never once made aware of this. Otherwise, I would have told them to get lost when they asked me in the first place. I told her to go screw herself and hung up. Ever since, she's been messaging me saying she's going to call the police and tell everyone on Facebook about what a horrible piece of work I am. I haven't responded to any of these messages and don't plan to. Am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. Send her a bill for pet services. The going rate in my area is $70 a day. This should have been discussed beforehand, not argued about afterwards. And if she calls the police, let the police know about her MJ stash. She won't call the police because she knows they will piss themselves that she thinks she's owed money by the house sitter. Not the a-hole. Not the a-hole. Preempt her by making your own Facebook post. Here's gratitude for you. I mind X's house for a week. Free. I feed their pets for a week. Free. Now she's trying to bill me for the utilities. Lol. Make it a GoFundMe post. X is in such dire straits that they asked me to pay for utilities for the week I house and pet sit for them for free. I had no idea it was so bad. Please donate here to help. Now for the last story. Am I the a-hole for saying I won't go on vacation with my family if I'll have to sleep on the floor? I, female 16, live with my mom, dad, and sisters, 13, 18. We go on a vacation at least once a year. To save money, my dad keeps booking hotel rooms that can sleep a maximum of 4. Things like a king bed for them, and trying to shove me and my sisters on a pull-out couch or 2 full beds and no couch. And for almost all these vacations, I end up sleeping on the floor because there's never enough beds. We're going to the snow next weekend and my dad was booking a hotel room. I went to an Airbnb and found a condo with 2 bedrooms and 5 beds that beat the price of the hotel. But my dad said no because it was 10 minutes from downtown and didn't have a TV. He said we only need 2 beds like we always get, and I told him I'm sick of sleeping on the floor whenever we go on vacation. He said it's only a couple days and I'll be fine, and I told him if he gets a room where I'll be sleeping on the floor, I'm not going. My grandparents live across the street from us, so if my parents don't want me to be home alone, I can stay with them. My dad yelled at me and called me ungrateful for not wanting to go. Am I the a-hole for not wanting to go on vacation to sleep on the floor? Edit. I don't choose to sleep on the floor. When we go on vacation, there's 2 beds, and my parents take one and my sisters take the other, and there's no room for me in the bed. Since a lot of people are asking, the rooms usually don't fit an air mattress or cot. Plus, the hotel charges extra for a cot and my dad doesn't want to pay for that, so I usually sleep on a couple of sheets. My sisters don't sleep on the floor because my older sister has back problems, and my little sister throws temper tantrums and run the house. Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. Since there are 3 sisters, they can share a king-size bed and your parents can sleep on a pull-out couch if they insist on saving money. Pulling out would have prevented this whole situation. Cue drum and cymbals. Not the a-hole, by the way. Not at a-hole. It's absolutely unfair to expect you to sleep on the floor. Of a hotel, no less. If beds for all can't be afforded, it makes sense to save longer or sacrifice the 10 minutes in TV. I feel like he'd be changing his tune if he wasn't guaranteed a bed. You feel me? And that's the end of this video, folks. As always, leave a comment and hit like and subscribe. And if you want more of this content, turn your notification on to get updated on the latest videos. And I'll catch you with the next one. Stay safe.